Hello and welcome to another Skyrim series with me. This time we're going to be a pure, we're going to do the Necromancer build, a pure Necromancer build. This is actually a request. It's not something that I get often, but when I do get requests, I do them. So let's jump into a new game. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to keep all of my damage from resurrected corpses and dead thralls. I'm going to try to stay away from damaging, like direct damage from myself as much as possible. And yeah, we're going to see how we're going to see how that works. Now, what I have in mind is a low level build. So I'm going for the high elf. I'm not going for max, because if you're going for max, you probably want a Breton. High elf gets you more mana since you do have a low level. That gives you a lot less level up points, so your total mana pool is going to be small. Getting a high elf with that extra starting mana does help if you're going like super low level build like what I'm planning. So that's what we're going to do. This is of course alternate start, because I don't want to do the standards like
approach my child
tutorial, because we're not noobs. We're Skyrim veterans at this point. And the start that's closest to Helgen is the camping in the woods.
The woods can be so peaceful this time of year. Good hunting.
So you know how, if you've seen the previous playthrough I did, the Trailer King one, you sort of know how the first episode goes. I'm going to mostly be talking about the build in general and what I have planned for the build. So first video, probably a more boring one. I don't have a fancy script this time. I'm just going to start with whatever. I think this is legit. Steel arrows. See if we can... Yeah, we'll grab the 52 gold. Now, I'm actually not familiar with how to do this. Yesterday I did play around a bit, read some wikis. I spent about an hour on this, tested around the resurrection spells. I actually didn't know their targeted spells, or they're like the firebolt and stuff, where there's actually a projectile. I thought they were targeted, which I think the whatchamacallits are, the banished spells. So I thought they were like that. You know, I learn something new every day, even at this point in Skyrim. It's also something that I like about this playthrough in particular, because we're going to be covering a lot of content that I am not familiar with, so I might end up looking like a total noob, which is not something that has happened for the past, I guess, 150 videos or something. The last time we did the trailer build, which is something that I haven't done before, but theoretically everything is very familiar to me. Which is how it went pretty smoothly. I'm not gonna bother with the dogs because I don't have a way to damage them right now, according to the limitations of my build. But yeah, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go over the Necromancer build. What I'm planning is basically pure conjuration to 100 and then doing dead thralls. You can sort of use necromantic healing, and I'm gonna get that eventually. But first, I'm gonna level lock to 17 because if you get your conjuration to 100, that gives you level 17. You can pick up a couple of spells here and there, and that's going to be able to get you dragons as opposed to blood dragons. So what we're going to do with the first 50 gold is we're going to go to the... Oh, I don't have QA smoke door. Balls. QA smoke door will let us skip a little bit of running. But yeah, so what I'm going to do first is we're going to go to the College of Winterhold. We're going to buff up our mana even more. That's going to basically... the college gives you the novice hood and also a robe of destruction. I think it's set to destruction. What I'm after is not the destruction fortification, but the mana regen fortification. That's going to let us level up our conjuration a little bit faster, and eventually we're going to want college anyways. So might as well front load that. Now, in terms of the build, I say the Necromancer build is probably the shittiest build I have ever been recommended or ever used, which is probably why it's recommended in the first place, because, you know, if you're gonna make me do an optimized build, then that's just pretty lame. Like, just by level 20, level 30, you're just Like everything dies if you look at it funny. Necromancer to me is interesting in that way because it's shitty because it relies number one on magic and number two on NPCs to damage. And NPCs don't really follow the super sharp optimization path that's I'm so used to. It also is a very contradictory build because on one hand you want a high total level in order to scale up whatever NPCs you choose to resurrect, but on the other hand you want to keep your level low because if you take a look at this the conjuration spell tree, or the conjuration perk tree, this perk over here, it gives you an extra 100 points of health. Now that's going to be more significant the more the less health your corpses have. If you think of Skeever, it has 15 health, plus 100 is 150 health, a huge increase. But if you think about like a 500 health bear, plus 100 health on that, whoop-de-fucking-do, what did you accomplish? Nothing. So it's sort of a contradictory build in that sense. And also if you follow the standard build, like the standard pure conjuration build and nothing else, you'll be able to get Dremora Lords, which out damages any conjuration possible, or any resurrection builds, like Necromancer builds possible. Necromancer does have higher potential than Dremora Lords because you can re-equip weapons on them. So if you do go a max build with smithing, alchemy, and enchanting, then you could potentially have them dish out a lot of damage. Actually we don't have enough gold, right? No, we do. I have 176 gold.
Welcome to the... I trust... Now I must... If, however, you seek something more, I will be happy to assist you. I am here. And if, the more important question...
Yeah, I didn't know we had that much gold.
Perhaps. But what is it you expect to find within?
I guess the closest one... No, I just want to see what's inside.
But I sent... It would seem that... Not just a small test, if you will. No,
I don't think you can actually pass persuasion check unless you have the amulet of articulation. I don't know that spell.
Or you can try your luck with one of the court wizards. Here you are. Now I'm anxious to see you cast it.
That's actually a really good start, I guess. Yeah, 129 with high elf, we can definitely do this.
Ease off on the magic. Well, I think you'll be a surprise. I'll lead you across the bridge.
Flame Matriarch, any summon, I was planning to pick up a familiar.
Well done.
Because that lets you reset your death thralls. Like to level them up again. So having one conjuration spell is good. But yeah, as I was saying before, build is very bad because Dremora Lords outscales Dead Thralls in basically every single aspect, except if you go for max builds with the 3 crafting skills at max level. But then you run into the problem where your Dead Thralls are still squishy as hell. So if something manages to kill your Dead Thralls and take their weapon, then all of a sudden you're dealing with an enemy with a 200 damage sword, which is not a fun situation to be in.
Well, I'll give you a brief tour, and then we'll get you to your first class. Are you ready to begin? Yes.
But yeah, basically that's why the build sucks, and that's why our character is named appropriately. I don't think I can show that. But yeah, I decided to name our character Grave Mistake because obvious reasons. Basically that's what if you had all my saves sort of lined up and sat around a table, this will probably be the one they're calling a noob. Especially since all my other builds are so like optimized towards killing NPCs, and this one depends on NPCs, so like if anything everyone's gonna gather around him and call him a noob. Okay, so I'm just gonna run this getup. This is probably the equipment set we're gonna run like in terms of appearance, because I don't think there's a difference between this and higher level robes in terms of appearance.
Where do you want to go?
So first, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Solitude. And we're also after Riften. This is basically just me unlocking a bunch of fast travel points. There's no reason for me to be in Solitude right now. Actually, there is. There's, no, there isn't. There really isn't any point. We're after Riften first. Okay, I got Solitude Stables.
Need a ride? Where do you want to go? Climb and back and we'll be off.
So in terms of my build path, what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to get level 100 Conjuration, and we're going to pick up a couple of spells to help with that. Conjuration leveling is best done by pulling out a bunch of bound swords, or you can also be casting Soul Trap on a dead corpse repeatedly. Second method probably better than the first. I've never done that though, because I normally just cast bound sword while in combat. The advantage of the second one is if you continuously cast it on a dead corpse, then chances are you won't be in combat, so you'll have higher magicka regen to work with. Probably why it levels up faster, but I don't know the experience gained per cast, so I can't really say for sure which method is better for leveling Conjuration. Another problem with this build is it's very, very reliant on the later perks. That 100 health perk, it's actually a level 70 perk, so you can't really start combat until you get to level 70 Conjuration. By all means, Necromancy is a support ability, and it's not a full combat ability, because the best use for Necromancy is actually like the world's strongest pack mule. You can actually use a Death Thrall, and it's an infinite storage chest. You can res it. It'll still be walking, like quote-unquote walking, but not walking. It's like running, like what I'm doing right now instead of sprinting. So you can basically drag a Death Thrall around with you to carry all your shit. But that's sort of advanced things. You can't expect a new player to know, oh, I'm going to rush Death Thrall so I can go and carry around all this shit. And basically any veterans will know what not to pick up, so your inventory won't be filled with crap anyway, so you won't need a Death Thrall to carry out your shit. So basically Necromancy generally worthless, I would say. I guess I'll take that. So basically that's what I'm after: Xanatar Blessing, Xanatar Amulet. We're going to equip that. And then we're going to pick up some spells. I think you can do that in Riften. No, actually, we need to pass the Persuasion check to get in. So we're going to try Whiterun. Like, I'm actually putting in quite a lot of effort to cap our level down. Now, 17 is not really that important of a level. It is one of the magic numbers for dragons, but the problem with dragons is your story mode dragons will tier up at different levels than your standard dragons, so you won't have 18, 27, 36 to work with. 17 does cap us barely at the dragon spawns, at dragons instead of blood dragons, but we're not going to be chasing after dragon spawns. We have no use for dragon souls past the first ones become ethereal. That'll be our very important shout for this build. Because we have basically no defense. We can't afford to put any points into health. So basically we have no use for Dragon Souls. So capping at 17 isn't as important, but hey, if the build happens to fit level 17, then why not, right?
Halt. City's closed with the dragons about.
Stand aside or else, I'll come back later. We'll change your mind. Oh shit. I don't want to pass a persuasion check. Go away. Potion of healing, we have 5 of those, so I don't want to. Can we please just talk to Alvor? Like, without going through the whole Hadvar shit? We'll try. We'll try. Alvor should be out here.
What?
A dragon attack Helgen.
That explains what I saw earlier.
Actually, you know what?
Down the valley from the south. Hoping I was wrong about what I thought it was.
Yeah, we probably want Hadvar, because eventually I want to test Ulfric's Stormcloak as a potential thrall. So I think if you have Hadvar, then you get some interactions with him. Like through the Imperial questline. That's also one of the things I'm talking about, dead content, or content that I've never covered before. Dead Thralls in its own is something I never covered before, and the Civil War questline has never been recorded by me, and also Vampire's Side of Dawnguard has never been recorded by me. Those are 3 potential things that I'll be doing. Of course, Death Thrall for sure, but the other 2 I could potentially be getting into. So this is a lot of new territory for me as well. That's why I say this is interesting for me. Oh, where's the Helgen Cave? I think I passed it. No. Oh, there it is. I wonder if I have to actually follow him, or can I just drag him over. But yeah, technically I am cheating a little bit. There's already been 2 instances of cheating so far. Number 1, I installed the expanded carriages and got to Winterhold to get this gear up. It's not super hard to run that path. There's potentially wolves. I don't think they're ice wolves when you're level 1. So that's a little bit of a cheating, and also I think my starting gear does not match up with what you get out of the tutorial. You might be able to get just as much gold, which is really the only thing that's important. If you don't, then you'll be forced to sell, which will level up our speechcraft, which is something I've been avoiding like the plague so far. And also you won't get 5 potions of healing. Holy crap, that's a lot of potions. Why is he here? Okay, you know what? We're gonna mark Hadvar and we're gonna drag him over. Wait, I don't think we can. I think if you drag him over, he'll just sort of freeze halfway. Like he'll run back to Guardian Stones or something.
Looks like he's gone for good this time. But I don't think we should stick around to see if he comes back.
Oh, we'll try to drag him over.
Down from Harry's Riverwood. My uncle's the blacksmith there. I'm sure he'd help you out. It's probably best if we split up. Good luck. I wouldn't have made it without your help today.
Thanks, Hadvar. I gave you a potion. I mean, if it'll make anyone happier, I guess I can ditch the rest of these potions. Chances are I'll never use them in the first place. Okay, so he fast traveled with us, which is good. Alright, come here, Hadvar. I want you to appear in the later Civil War questline that I might or might not do. If you're actually doing the swords path to level conjuration, you could start Civil War right away. Civil War is friendly to beginner necromancers because you can conjure up the swords to level off of. There will be soldiers fighting to help you, so it's fine to waste your mana like that. Soldiers also make good zombies, so you can sort of do it without death thrall. There's just so many of them around.
Come on, I'll explain everything, but we need to go inside.
Okay, come. Whatever you need.
Supplies.
What's all this about? What are you two doing here?
I think I can use that. Lockpicks could help. I like to take 2 hunting brew mead. It does give you a carry weight. Like if you run into that event in the middle of the wilderness, you can trade 2 hunting brew mead for a amulet of carry weight, I think.
What? That explains what I saw earlier. Flying down. The Jarl needs to know. We need to get word to Jarl Balgruuf in Whiterun to send whatever soldiers he can.
Now we don't have to pass a persuasion check. That was a lot of effort to skip that 1 persuasion check. Okay, what time are we? We're at 5 p.m. I think that's good. Here's Mr. Guard again, making me run all the...
Riverwood's in danger too. You better go on in. You'll find the Jarl in Dragon's Holt. City's closed with the dragons.
Making us run all the way around for a whole day. If you remember, we sort of showed up at 9 o'clock. And now it's 5. It's like a whole fucking day at work. Just running around. Not fun.
We'll pay whatever it takes, but we must have more swords.
Okay, so we got Mage Stone, barter. That's good.
Battleborn, give me your money.
Battleborn, you only have 2 gold. Because you're a dumb quest.
No, mister. Could you spare
No,
a coin?
no. Stop doing protagonisty things. I told you to talk to this girl, not sit on a bench.
Just 1 gold? Oh, thank you. Divines, bless your kind heart. Until next time.
Hey, watch it.
No, you watch it. You know what you should watch instead? My other YouTube videos. They're great, just nobody appreciates my shit. Okay, let's see what we can afford at this point. Probably just bound swords.
What's the meaning of this interruption? Well, that explains why the guards let you in. Come on, then.
Actually, no, I don't want to talk to the Jarl right now. You tried to sell me stuff.
Spells and incantations for those with the talent to cast them.
Let's see, Soul Trap. Soul Trap is 238. We only have 100. That bound sword. Yes, we can afford that.
You know, if you've got the aptitude, you should join the Mages College in Winterhold.
So I think we might be taking Civil War path. Not sure.
Dragon with your own eyes?
Imperials are about to... No, we don't care about that.
Smear Irileth was right. What do you say now, Proventus?
Let's see, what do we even have in terms of sellables? Nothing.
Shall we continue to trust in the strength of our walls against the dragon?
Anyways, I think I've been recording long enough, so I'm gonna cut this first video here, and we'll see you guys next time.